Hello friends, Cheryl here with inkedpulp, and we're back. We only have 2 days left of Dephemerember. This one's, I think, going to be a pretty quick one. Today is December 30th, and it's altered tag and torn wallpaper. So I have an idea for this. I have all these different wallpaper scraps that I want to use. There's the other one. And then I have these are small tags. But I had these in my stash. Now I have prepped them. I did put some matte medium on them. So that they're kind of, a little bit non-porous. Because what I want to do is I want to take my gelatos, and then I do have some Tim Holtz Distress crayons. I've never really liked these much, but I am going to try to use them. So what I'm going to do is put some color on these tags, and that'll be how I alter them. And then after we have the color on them, then I'm going to put the wallpaper on, and then we'll put a focal point on. Okay, so here's one of the wallpapers that I'm going to use. I really like this. This is really pretty. We'll put it on something like that. But I need some colors in the background that are going to match this. And I was thinking, I'm going to do these one at a time. I was thinking that this set of colors that I have here would be a good match for this wallpaper. Make it my glue book here, but we'll use it for these. So I have my crayons, and then I also have a damp baby wipe. And what I'm going to do is just put some, so that one's kind of like a bronzy color. We've got some green. And some gray. I like that gray. And then I've got this. This is iced spruce. Okay, let's see what this gives us. And then I'm just going to take this damp baby wipe, and I'm going to start blending these colors. I don't think any of these are going to be really dark enough. Might need to put something darker. Yeah, I've just not been overly impressed with the Tim Holtz Distress crayons. I like my gelatos much better. That really didn't give me much color. So let's look in here and see what I have. There's one. This is pistachio. Now that's a good color. I'm going to do this a little bit more with my fingers because it seems like that baby wipe is pulling up, and it may be because I have the matte medium, but if you don't put the matte medium down, you'll have a hard time spreading. Okay, and I'm going to concentrate more on this side, and you'll see why in a little bit. So I'm going to stick with my finger on this one, and we'll just do some blending of these different colors. Let's see, what else do I have? I want to put like a white on here. and blend it in because I've got kind of this light color on the okay, there's that. There's some gray, and then let's put some brown in there. Make sure I'm not missing any colors somewhere. I've got this green here, and it doesn't give me a color name on it. So I've got this one. Those look pretty similar. This one's called green tea. Let's try some green tea on here. All right. So there we go. I didn't put any brown on. I don't know if I really want a whole lot of brown in here. Maybe sort of blending these two colors together. Okay. And then if I have this behind this, I do not like that bright green. So I'm going to tone it down with a little bit of brown. That bright green does not go here. There we go. And then let's see, do we want some of this silver? I don't want to spend a ton of time working on this one, but this is how I play with gelatos. I just keep adding colors, and what I'm going to do with this, I'll show you. This is like one of my favorite ways to kind of alter tags and yep. And so what I want to do, oops, I cut that a little bit too short. That's okay. We can come. What I want to do is come down at a diagonal. And I just love this look on tags and cover like part of it. It's probably not enough. And I've got a lot of these little, this is the thing I don't like about tearing papers, when you get these little, and I've heard several different ways to avoid that, like put your finger behind it and tear like along your finger, but I don't know, I don't have a lot of luck with that. Okay, and I got this way out of whack from my original shape, so let me go back. I wanted to get this stem in there. Come on. Okay. There we go. So I'm just messing with it because I really kind of messed up the shape. I had the shape right, and then I started messing with it. There we go. So that's the shape. And then this will be like this, and then we'll put a focal point on it. Okay, so I'm going to set that one aside. And let's go on to the next one. And I have these flowers, and I need to decide trying to see which way this would go. Maybe this would go down this way. All right, so let's get kind of some like fuchsia colors, pinks, some gold. Okay, let's put some of this down. I love working with gelatos, and I've really not done a lot of it in a while. So this is kind of a fun prompt for me to be able to play with the gelatos. And I can go stamp a little bit on this. I guess I could go down this way. So we've got that reddish color. Let's see what else do I got. Some green in there. And that one's old paper, which is kind of a green, but not dark enough to really show up. So let's see what else. Here we go. Now you can also take like a wet paintbrush and do this. I was showing you the wet baby white, but it was taken off too much. I didn't like how much it was taking off the page. So let me go back in. A little bit of this gold. You just keep blending and playing with it. You could also, if you don't have gelatos, you could use watercolor pencils to do something similar. You could use acrylic ink. Smell that. Okay, let's go down. Now, I could put a ruler on here and tear this a lot straighter, but I don't want to do that because I want it to have that kind of jagged edge look. I need to go in way a lot farther than this. I need to make this really, really steep because I want to see more of the color. There we go. Now I'll need to put a little more color up here. Let's see, where did my gold go? Did I throw it back in here? There's that. And a little bit of green. some gold, and let's do some green just kind of up here around the edge. And then we'll glue that on there like that. So we've got a little bit of the pink and a little bit of the other. So there's another one. And then I have this one, which is really pretty. And it really doesn't matter which way, you know, I put this on, because where did this lid come from? It came off of something. All right, so let's play with the blues, because I really want to bring out the blues in this one. Let's see if I can put a little bit of water on this, because it's not moving as much as I would like. You know, it's funny because some colors really move well, and then other colors not so much. I don't know what that is, but it's just kind of the way of the world. So this one's letting me use the baby wipe and still get some good color on there. All right, let's put some of this color in here. And this may turn it a little purpley, we'll see, because I'm putting a reddish tone on a blue. And that one doesn't like to be blended with the baby wipe. There we go. And then how about some yellow? There's kind of a light yellow. And I'm just going to put all kinds of different colors in this. Okay. This is elderberry. This is kind of a shiny one. And I'm going to cover up a lot of those other colors and let them just poke out, because I want this mostly to be blue. And I'll tell you what the trick here is, just building up the layers. So you can kind of see how it's really muted that down. Those colors. Now when I put this on there, it doesn't look quite as garish. Let's put and then I think I do want to put some white. Now notice that I'm kind of going up and like at a diagonal with all of these. You can do circles, you can go however you want to do it. All right, so I think that's pretty. So let's get a piece of this. Here we go over on this side. Cut out a little piece of this. You know, I've had this wallpaper forever, and I've not really used it until now. Oh, this one's tearing nice. That piece is even nice. We could do that piece, but I think I want to use this one. Let's put just a little more up here at the top. I love, one of my favorite color blues is, oh, got this like French, no, that French blue doesn't really work with this. I've also got like a navy blue that's real pretty. And I'm just trying to keep this more blue than anything. I don't know why I want it that way, but I do. And let's take the white and run it down the edge and see what that does. Okay. All right, so there's that one. There's that one. And now the last one is this one. And this is going to be blue and yellow. And it's going to be the same color blue. I think I was seeing that I could, yep. It's not really the exact blue on here. It's more of a, I don't know, a bright blue. I don't really have like a denim blue color on them, I guess. Maybe this one. All right, let's leave it at that, and then let's put some yellow in here. Let's get a nice bright yellow in here. Well, you know what? I don't know if I want to put a bright yellow in there because it's not bright yellow on the wallpaper. See how that looks. It's kind of turned it green, but that's okay. That's okay. Let's go over and do more yellow here. I should have put the blue around the yellow so it didn't make it so green, but that's okay. I'm going to go put a little more blue in here. And that will help us get that blue back in here. All right, so tell me, have any of you guys played with gelatos? I love getting my fingers in them. Like I said, I could, you know, pull out my paint brushes and, yeah, we'll just put that on there. And it's not exactly, oh, you know what I can do? I can go in add some white here on this yellow to kind of brighten it up a little bit. The other thing I could have used on here was my pan pastels. Could have taken a stencil. Yeah, that just doesn't work for me. Not with that particular wallpaper. Let me see what else I have in here. It just doesn't. It's not the right blue and it's not the right yellow. Ooh, how about this? This is like a beachy theme. This might actually. Oh yeah, I think this will be just fine. All right, let's just keep that bird on there. There we go. And yes, I like this a whole lot better. And I'm just going to blend those colors more. There. That's more of a beachy color. All right. Let's go now and let me see if I can clean off my fingers just a little bit here with a little bit of water. All right. Let's glue these down on here and then we'll trim them back. Now I am going to glue these down with, what do I want to use on this? I might use some matte medium. I think I'm going to stick with the matte medium because it will glue that down. Let me get the water out of this brush. This will be the best thing. This is back from my mixed media days. Now I'm using all the matte medium. So I'm kind of late in putting this up, and it's going to go up on January 1st. So I wanted to check with everybody and see, did you have a great New Year's Eve? There we go. There we go. And then I will back these so that there we go. Look at that. All right, there's that one. Let's see, which way was I doing it? This way. So this is actually going up on January 1st. I watched some of there was a streamathon last night with a bunch of YouTubers. They were each going for 2 hours. And I was watching, Janet Young was doing a live, and she has the scavenger hunt. And I was very intrigued by that. So I thought, well, I might just do that scavenger hunt this year. There we go. Oh, that left a lot of space up here that I need to fill in with some color, so we'll do that. I'll set that one aside. And then on this one, we'll get the matte medium. So anyway, I watched that. I watched Mama Juju, Crafting on the Back 40. She's a big good friend of mine, so I watched her, and they were talking about the Janet Young scavenger hunt that she does every year. And I thought, oh, that sounds like fun. Maybe I'll hop on and do that. So I have one little spot there that didn't get colored, so I'll color that in. And then what did I do with that last one? 1, 2, 3, and then I had the one with the flower on it. What did I do with it? Did I put it up here? Yep. All right. So then I've got, whoops, I've got this one, and let's see. I'll use that. Anybody here ever work with gelato? I really like them. I haven't worked with them in a long time, so I'm a little rusty, but I really like them. And they last forever. I mean, they're like crayons. You could, go back 50 years and find a box of Crayola crayons, and they'd be just fine. It's the same thing with these gelatos. They're crayons, and they last forever. So they're a good investment because they're not going to go bad on you. All right. Alrighty, let's put this down. Just a little bit more there. All right, let's put this away, and then let's start cutting those down. Then we can ink them up and find some focal points for them. So I think we do this one first. Let me get my big scissors. So I know I keep bouncing back and forth. Janet Young, if you haven't seen, she does a scavenger hunt every year, and she puts out a list of objects. And I'll show you the list. I just printed it off, so I'll show that to you in just a second here. And you can, make your own little journal, work in another journal, specifically for the scavenger hunt. Last night, she actually made her journal. Look at that. Isn't that just pretty? I love it. And then there's kind of a theme for the year, and not every page has to be about the theme, but this year's theme is vintage candy and sweets. Look at that. Now, isn't that just pretty? Oh, I was going to put some more color up here. Let me finish cutting these down and then I'll do that. So she made her cover last night and then everybody got the prompts. And you have until, there's no like weekly thing due. Look at that one. Isn't that just pretty? You have until April 1st. And everybody who completes, she has 100 items on the list. And for everybody who completes 90, at least 90 of the 100 items will go into a drawing for a prize. And one of the questions I ask, because I haven't done this before, is on one journal page, can you cover multiple prompts, or does it have to be like one prompt per page? And the answer was no, you can do multiples. Look at that. Those are just so pretty. Let me go back here real quick and put some more colors on here. We had that. And we had some browns and a gold. I really like this gold gelato. I use it a lot when I'm doing a lot with my gelatos. And I think I used one of these distress crayons in here, didn't I? There's the bronze one. There's the old paper. I think I used some of that to kind of lighten it up. Now see, I'm not getting it to match exactly what I had there. Where's the other one? The other one was like pistachio. But that's okay because I have a focal point that I'm going to put on there. And I can always use the focal point to cover up anything I don't like. All right, so there's that one. And look at that. And I'm actually going to go along the this kind of white edge. I'm going to try to cover that up a bit. There we go. There we go. I've got this one spot right here that doesn't want to cover up real good. I don't know why. Put a little bit of that bronze on there. Nope, all I'm doing is taking it back off again. All right, we'll leave that as it is. All right, so there's my gelatos on there. And baggie for my distress crayons, which I don't really care for all that much. Let's get rid of some of this stuff. And I'm going to take the heat gun and dry this. Now, you don't want to put it too much on there because those gelatos are like crayons and they will just melt. But I can go lightly over this and just make sure it's dry. I just don't want to melt the gelatos. And I think I know what I want to do on this one. I have got right right up here, I have got one of these butterflies that I think would be so pretty on there. And then we could put like a label or a word or something down here. So I'm going to go with that. And then I've got all these. They're more like tickets than they are labels. But let's see if I can find a smaller one in here. That's pretty. But here's something more along the green lines, and then I could put this, and I can touch that up with some vintage photo to darken up that butterfly so it's not so stark white. Nope. I think that's the best one there of everything I have here. So let's get vintage photo. And then what I'll do is I'll get all the focal points, and then I'll go off, glue everything on. I'll back them, sew them, and then I'll come back and show you at the end. So put that there. And I am grunging up this butterfly, and then what I'll do is put some black bling, find it, here it is. I'll put some black bling on there. Let's see, how many do I need? Let's cut 5, and then if I need to cut one off, I can. 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I will also get some of the black antenna and put on there to finish it off. Okay. Yep, that's just actually, let's go with 4. 5 may be a little too many. There. That fits better. And then we'll take a set of these and put under here. We'll have the antenna. Oops, there's my body. And then we'll have a label down there, and then I'll ink up around the edge and we'll sew it and all that good stuff. So there's one. What do you guys think of that? I love it. Altered tag with wallpaper. Okay. Let's see, what do we want to do on this one? How about nope. I've got some, oh my goodness, I'm rolling over my wallpaper. It fell. Now I'm rolling over it, messing it all up. All right, so how about somewhere in here I just set it up yesterday. I've got a little green tub with a bunch of flowers cut out. But let's see if we have, ooh, how about this? Let's look in these cutouts. This is from Merrimay's Small Arts. And I see one that I think I might. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? And I think on this one, probably what I would do it's not going to tear. This is kind of like a real light aqua color, so it matches really nicely. So if I put that there, that there, and if we put something through the top, a topper, still needs more. Let's see what else I might have. That we could put. I really am liking this. How about just a word? Let's look at our words. And I've got some that are in white that we might be able to use. So I'm not liking this lace so much because it's too even. Maybe what I need is a little cheesecloth over the top of the lace to give it kind of those jagged edges. Let's see what this does. We doing on time. We're doing okay. All right, let's put that kind of jaggedy. Yes, I like that a whole lot better. Now let's find, and then here's the word beautiful. And if I ink that up with black around the edges, to match all the black in the butterfly, I think this one will be beautiful. All right, there's tag number 2. Look at that. All right, now let's go on to the next tag. And I'm going to put all these butterflies back in. And I don't know that I want a whole lot on this one except maybe a word on there, or a phrase or something. Because you've got the bird and you've got the background. I don't know that I really want anything else on there. Maybe some stamping, maybe a little script or something on there. Hang on, let me get these back in here. All right, those are put away. This goes over here. How about some words? And maybe we could go to this quote book and maybe I can find something in a blue color that kind of matches. Here we go. How about this? Follow your heart. It knows the way. Follow your heart, it knows the way. I actually like that. And then what I would do with this is take I'm going to take something with a sharp point on it, and I'm going to draw little boxes around this. I'll have to go sharpen something, so I'll have that. Oh, there we go. Follow your heart, it knows the way, choose kindness. How about that? And then how about a little bit of stamping up here? And I'm just making this up as I go, you guys. Let's get into my box of... I could go with my old standby. I could go with like Blueprint Sketch, because it's that dark blue. Oh yeah, there we go. There we go, and then I have a little down here at the bottom and a little along the edge. That still doesn't give me everything I want, though. I still think I want some script. That's some nice, just, where's my go-to script stamp in here? This thing fell over the other day, and I had to pick it all up and throw everything back in here, so I don't know. Everything's not in the same... That's not the... Well, here's one. And let's go with the black. Let's go with this Ultimate Black with the VersaFine. There. That's that. And that's all I'm going to do on that one because we've got the bird here. Now, what I might do, and you guys, I don't know if you've all seen me do this before, but I like to sometimes enhance the images with a little bit of pencil because I can go back in and shade it a little bit. So look at that bird the way it is now. Okay, it's just sort of sitting there, and then I'll show you what happens after I go around with a little bit of pencil. This is one of my favorite things to do. When an image is too light and it doesn't really stand out a lot, and you want it to, have some shading around it to really stand out, you can go in with some graphite pencil and shade around your image, and that will make it stand out. And then, I try to blend that pencil. You don't have to, but I like to blend it a little bit. And if that's still not dark enough, you can use a little bit of charcoal, but be very careful with that because charcoal is really dark and you can overdo it. There. Look at how much better that bird stands out now. Okay. All right. And then I might even play and shade these fence posts a little bit more. You can really see how those stand out just a little bit more. Anyway, there's that one. And then the last one is this. And let's see, what do we want for a focal on here? I don't think we want anything really big. I think maybe just a really pretty label in here might do the trick. Let's see what I've got here. Maybe that's too dark. I don't like that black. Let's see if I have something else that doesn't have black around the edges. Still black around the edges. I don't like that. And then I've been cutting out labels, you guys. I have so many of them that I've cut out to use because I wanted, and some of these look like tickets, some of them look like labels. Oh, there we go. That's nice. We could put those on there like that. And the colors are very matchy-matchy. I like just the two of them on there. And then do I want three? Nope. In fact, I don't even know if we want two. I think we might just want the one with some lace behind it. Let's see. All right, let's get the lace bucket over here. Ooh, this is pretty. This is a piece of sari. That might go very nicely with this. I'd have to cut it off a little bit. But the color is perfect, isn't it? All right, let's put this down. And then I still need, or maybe I could put this down here and put like some words up here. Okay, so let's do this. And then, because that's got that kind of reddish in it. Let's see what I can find to go on there. There's one that says celebrate life. And then we could put a topper in there, and I could put in we do need a little bit of script in here. All right, there we go. So we have Celebrate Life, and then this little label down here with the sari silk, and then we can sew around that. All right, so let me pause you guys. Oh, I'm at an hour. Let me pause you guys, and then I'll come back and show you what I did after I get all of these put together. All right, what did I do with my mouse? Tell me, you guys, where did I put my mouse? Where did I put my mouse? There it is. All right, I'll be right back. All right, you guys, I got them all done. I didn't back them yet, but I'll do that later. And I don't know if I'm going to sew around these, actually, as I got to looking at them. So let's take a look and see what I did. I found some, for the topper, I found some trim that was kind of in the same colors. I did add a clock up here. I thought I needed something up here, and then just a little label. And I did put a brad in there with the blue color. I did draw lines around the saying to make it stand out, and then I inked around the edges. The inking around the edges doesn't show up real well because it doesn't stick real well to the gelatos, and it also doesn't really stick to the wallpaper. But what it does do is it covers up that white, so if you look at it from the side, you don't see the white. All right, so here's the other one. This is really cute trim. This is like a yellow and green floral that I put on there. It matches really well. The yellow matches this and the greens. But there's my little butterfly with the label, and I love that wallpaper in the back. This one's really plain, and I think it might need something else up here, but I'll wait until I get ready to use it. But what I did is I put a little label down here with the sari silk as we had suggested, but then I also tattered up a piece of lace and put behind that. And then I have the Celebrate Life. I do think it needs something up here. I'm not sure what yet. So like I said, oh, and I put a really wide ribbon as the topper because it was kind of so plain down below. So there's that one, and this is my favorite. I don't know, it's really between these two are my favorites, but look at this. And I found some kind of, it's like felted ribbon that was in the same color. And then put the butterfly on there, and I really love this one. So there we go. There are my altar tags with torn wallpaper. Where's my list here? Altered tag and torn wallpaper. So that's it. Only one more to go, you guys. I really love those. I love how they turned out. Give me your thoughts. What's your favorite? Let me know. And I'll see you in the last video. If you like what you saw, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not, so you can be notified when I post new videos. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you all, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.